Hello, good evening from this part of the world. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, depending on what part of the world you are watching me from. It's another short time for us, as I will be, bringing my business partners, Ama from the United Kingdom and Adeola from Nigeria. I hope we'll be able, to engage you tonight, to present you with whatever we have, to give you, tonight. We'll be discussing about our digital business. Sit back and relax and watch us as we tell you our journey in this digital business. So I have Amma and Adeola.
Um,
Amma, do you mind introducing yourself, to our viewers, please?
Thank you, Sis Vera. Hello, everyone who is watching. Good evening from the UK because it's now evening. If you're in another part of the globe where it's actually morning or afternoon, I'm wishing you a good morning and afternoon. As my lovely sister said, my name is Amma. I'm based here in the UK, but I'm originally from Ghana. That's where I was born. I am a mum as well as a carer to an amazing young man. He's fantastic. And the reason why I'm his carer is my son has additional needs. So that's why I'm his carer. I work in the public sector as a civil servant, and I also run my own digital business as well as doing mentoring.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Sister Emma. Although I'll be coming back to you later, to ask you so many questions on how you actually, got involved in this business and how you have been enjoying the journey, so far, because we are here to inspire a lot of people, around us. Because I do know personally that there are so many people that doesn't really know this business or this opportunity, exists. And why some who have actually seen it, they've only seen, seen the adverts, they've seen, people on different, social media platforms. But we are coming out here, to let you all know that this thing, whatever you're seeing on the social media from us, is actually real. And we are real people, mothers, as you can see, and we are, enjoying the process, and we are also, out here, to share this fantastic, business opportunity with you. So sit back and relax as we, hear from Adeola from Nigeria.
Hi, says Vera. Thank you so much for having me. So it's good evening from Nigeria, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from anywhere you're watching us from the any part of the world. So it's very exciting to have a television partner and we're chatting about this amazing business opportunity that we have. So my name is Adetola and I'm a Nigerian and I live in Nigeria. So I'm running the business in Nigeria. I'm also a wife and a mother of two beautiful girls. They're both children. It is 12 and 6. It's in a mental field. And I used to work for the government husband for like 3 months ago. I was able to retire early because of this business. And now I'm a stay at home mom while I run this business. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Sister Adeola. Although that I think your network was a little bit, funny there, but if I did hear you, you did mention that you are now a stay-at-home mom, and you quit. You This used to be your plan B, but it became your plan
Yes,
A, and
exactly.
that you enjoy. Yes. So although along the line we'll be able to, to say more about, how you found this business and how it has helped you, so far. I'm actually very excited to have you, especially here, Sister Diola, because um this is where, when we talk about the business being global,
Yes,
and most of the time we're always referring to people in diaspora, but
yeah,
here you found this business while you are residing in Lagos, Nigeria,
yeah,
and you got into the business, and here you are, you're in a proud digital business owner, and you're out here also helping a lot of people, to set up their digital business. You are
yeah.
prosperous in the business at the moment, and I just can't get over that yet, to be honest, personally, because I do know that if I were to be, still be in Nigeria, I probably would not even look at this, the digital business at all. I wouldn't even think of this opportunity being mine. But here you are, breaking the odds and doing marvelously well. So thank you, so much for that. Before we go ahead, to talk about other, topics that we have, lined up for tonight, we'll just quickly acknowledge all those who have actually joined us online, because we know that most of us will not be here without the support of our community, without the support of people out there. So we always take our time, to acknowledge them. And so we thank Nafisatu. Nafisatu, thank you so much. We appreciate your comment. We appreciate your contribution. And then you're telling us that you're watching from the United Kingdom. Yeah, thank you so much, and God bless you. And we have Deborah King. Deborah King is also watching us from the UK. Thank you so much for your support, ladies. We appreciate you all. Like we said, we will not be here, without you. Sometimes we just need this, little gesture, from you to, to motivate us, to come up here. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and God bless you. So, Sister Alma, I'm going to be putting you on my screen, on the full screen, because I want people to actually really hear what you are going to tell us now. And I want them to hear you especially, and not be distracted by our faces. We are going to have our own time too on the screen. Okay? So we put you out there now, okay? So if you tell us, please, how you found this digital business.
Okay, I was actually introduced to this business by a friend. She is a nurse and she is also a single parent like myself. But the funny thing was, I did not dive straight in. And that was one of the big things, was because you hear about horror stories in the online space. And the online space, for, I would say, for our generation who are wonderfully young, is still new. So I wasn't that interested. But then, we all know we've just come out of a pandemic. And I mentioned earlier on that my son, he has additional needs. And so he does receive support, and he needs care workers in order to go out and engage in the community just like you and I, but we don't need that. So what happened with the pandemic was that we had that lockdown, and there was that isolation where you could just stay in your bubble, immediate family, etc. My son, and I believe that those out there who have disabilities, whether they're physical or hidden, as such as my son, his is classed as a hidden disability, was very, very isolated. But one of the things I realized was that the online space was always available to him. It was open 24/7. There was, the pandemic didn't affect it. And that first initially sort of drew my attention to the online space. And then, like I said, I was introduced by a friend, and I wasn't interested, but my son had drawn my attention. And then I started to see the success that she was gaining, and the success she was gaining was what I wanted in my life. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who understand where I'm coming from. I'm not going to use a label of a single parent, but just as a parent, your child is your why, and you want the best. So we go out there, we're programmed from an early age to go through certain rules, go through life in such a way, and working is one of the things. And we have this idea that when we go out to work, we will be rewarded accordingly, i.e., what we receive in earnings will be more than sufficient. But that wasn't the case. So I saw her success where she was actually able to scale back on her work through this business, because she was actually earning. And that was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to have more in the family purse without having to sacrifice family over finances, which I've done practically most of my son's life, because I am the main bread earner. And so I've actually worked most of his life. And one of the things that she said was that she was able to have more time with her daughter. And that kind of touched a nerve, inside of me, because I've always had to work, and there's no ifs, buts, or maybes about that. And being a carer, I found that it's double the pressure, because you've got your caring responsibilities and then you're also working, and you have to weigh up what is going to come first. And obviously, the parent in me, it's keeping that roof over our head. So, what's actually happened throughout the majority of my son's life is that I had missed a lot of milestones. He's now entering adulthood, and it's painful because these are things that I won't be able to get that time back. Yes, I'm making memories with him, but the memories that I was not able to make, I won't be able to do that. And when she made that statement, and her daughter is much younger than my son, it just kind of opened my eyes that, I need to really reevaluate life. And I get it as a working person that we sometimes, I actually feel that we're actually conditioned into this point where we feel that being an employee is the only option. And one of the things that I've never actually put out there is when I was working, and that was just my main source of earnings, I always felt that I had this ticking time bomb where what if they got rid of me? So what happened, like I said, I missed a lot of major milestones in my son's life because I could never say no to my employer. Whatever they wanted, I would do, to the detriment of families, to the detriment of my son, because I'm thinking, you actually pay me so that I can make sure that I have a roof over our head. So I actually felt sort of indebted to them. And it's only when I started to do this business, and this is one of the things that I want to bring out. It's sort of sidetracking, but I just want to point it out, is that when I actually started this business, your mindset changed. And I realized that, well, I had to go for an interview to get the jobs that I'd gotten. And the reason they gave me the jobs was because they saw the potential in me. But when you're caught up with working as an employee, you seem to forget your potential. You seem to be conditioned into this point. So I took that leap and I started to actually do something about it. I dabbled, I didn't jump straight in, but I did dabble. But then it hit home when back in 2021, I actually had major surgery. And that was, I was off work for about 5 months. And when I came back, my employers, they actually put me through a disciplinary hearing, and that just opened my eyes. And some people might be thinking, well, okay, you had 5 months off, but I just want to stress this was an employer that I'd worked for at that time for nearly 9 years. And in that 9 years of working for them, not only was I a carer, but I'd never had a day off sick in those 9 years. And the first time that I actually went sick, and this was for major surgery, where there was a stage where they actually thought that I may not make it. But anyway, major surgery, my first ever time off, they put me through a disciplinary hearing when I came back to show how much they appreciated me. And I thought, Amma, if this doesn't tell you anything else, then just sit here, don't complain, and keep living by an employer's agenda. So yes, I just want to say that, you know, we need to really evaluate our life. I'm sorry, I did not mean to go on so much, Sister Vera. There's more that I wanted to say,
That
but
is
that was
perfect. That is perfect, sister. Go ahead. We're enjoying it.
yeah, that was one of the big whys. It was my son. Yes, I wanted that time freedom, and I dabbled, and it took my employers actually showing me my value to them to really dive in. And I want to say to people out there, I do get the skepticism, because anyone who knows me on a real personal level before I started this business knows that I'm somebody that will go through things. I'm very skeptical, I'm very cynical. But my point and what I've learned about life is we have skepticism, and that is normal. It's also a defense mechanism, but it will hold you back and you eventually start delving. And if you decide to delve maybe a year later, you've wasted that whole year where you could be moving forward. And what I just want to say is, please don't get to the point where I got to. You know, I'm going to pass it back to you, Sis Vera, because I will just talk and talk and talk.
Wow. Actually, I was actually prepared, to just leave the whole session to you, sister, because the truth is, not only is your story motivating. Listen, not only is your story motivating, I am actually here, even though I have my why, the reason why I got into the business, even though I have experienced my own, personal, I've had my own personal experiences as well. I'm actually thinking, sometimes you need somebody else's story to validate your own. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you might think you are crazy. You might think you are being I don't like using the negative, or that you're being stupid, but
Mhm,
then when you see other people, I've never met you before in person, Sister Ama, but we
mhm,
found ourselves in this business. You live in the UK, I live here in Ireland. You are originally from Ghana. I'm from Nigeria. So somehow we don't have anything, anything is similar. But the truth is, if we share our stories, we then see that, okay, you are not the only one in this world experience. There's somebody out there
yeah,
who is
yeah,
also who is also
yeah.
having the same experiences, and your instinct will tell you, just by hearing the story of other people, that you are not doing anything wrong. I remember
Mhm,
when I was actually leaving my full-time job. I have actually worked at this job for nearly 8 years. And when I was leaving my full-time full-time job, I had every excuses to stay back. I used to call it my familiar zone, until I had a chat with you one time and you were like, no, it's not familiar zone. It's sorry, it's not a comfort zone, it's a familiar zone, because I was used to it. I didn't
yeah.
want to live there. But then I thought to myself, I remember every time I had to go back to my payslip, I'm like, I'm getting this every two
Mhm,
weeks.
mhm,
I remember going to my boss, when I eventually decided to quit. I went to her. She called me back into her office. She was like, I love that woman so much, and I think she does too. She called me. She was like, Vera, are you sure of this? Do you think of what you're actually living? To go to some unknown, going to something unknown. She never even knew I was leaving my job for my business,
mhm. But you
because I
see,
was not even brave. I was not brave enough to do that. I wanted to hold on to something, so that I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I won't be too crazy. I had to get myself into college, and I tell you, even though I'm enjoying the journey of being a student, after 20 something years, after having about being out of school for 20 something years, I had to go back again. I'm enjoying the journey, but at the same time, it's one of my regrets that,
Mhm.
listen, that time that I'm even using, to attend classes, I could actually use it on my business. I could use it for my children, because the time I actually waste with them can never be regained.
And that plays
Okay.
on you because, like I said, when my friend showed me and she made that poignant statement, I thought of all the times I'd actually missed in my son's life where it was carers, taking my role, and I could never get it back. We're now making more memories than we ever did, but at the beginning it pained me, and any parent would understand. I don't need to describe how much it just pained me. It burns so much because they say that cliche that life is too short, and it might sound like a cliche, but that is the reality of things. I look at him now and I remember when I brought him this little person I could just hold on a pillow, who's now much taller than me. And
Yeah.
a lot of his life, I mean, I've done the best, and he's a happy. Anyone who meets him knows that he's happy, he's content, he's rounded, as well rounded as possible. But there was a very big portion of his life where mum wasn't there. And as children, I mean, we're now parents, but I'm sure you can remember when you were a child and your parents would do something. And as a child, you didn't understand until you yourself became a parent to
Yeah.
actually realize. And as children, they don't understand about we have to go out there and earn so that they have that roof, they have those luxuries. But, we need to open our eyes and think there has to be another way. It doesn't have to be that you have to sacrifice your family for finances. it is possible to have both, where you can have that balance. And that is one of the biggest take homes that I hope people, take with them.
Thank you so much, Sister Amma. I will give Sister Adeola, some time to reintroduce herself, if you don't mind, because when you did mention about, why you left, why you left your job, to embark on this journey, full time. I think your network was actually not very clear at that time. So if you don't mind, you want to, I'll give you the floor to, reintroduce yourself and then let the audience, know how and when you got into the business.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Hope I'm clear enough. Okay. So my name is Adeola. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a wife and a mother of two beautiful toddler girls, which is 4 and 3. Okay. So I started this business a little over a year ago, and I was
I
today.
think we're still experiencing the same problem again. By any chance, are you connected to a speaker?
No, I'm okay. No, I'm not.
Yeah. And we're still the same thing. It's clear if
Okay.
you are counting your words, but if you are having a full conversation, it kind of just,
Okay. Okay.
starts to fade out.
Sorry. Just
Then,
just
yeah.
give me a minute.
Okay.
This
So,
shows it's live. It's live.
yeah. So, Sister Amma, while we are waiting for Sister Tolusha to come back, yeah?
Okay.
Hmm.
Yes.
All right. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, like I was saying, I started the business a little over a year ago, and by April of this year, I've been able to retire early after working with the government for 14 years, and now I'm still at home mom, running my business and taking care of my children. So, how did I get to know about the business? Actually, it was my sister that saw instead of the Jamaican was living in Canada. And then, for a very while, we've been looking for what to do and when we make the end of study. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story so that you understand where I'm coming from. Okay, so I got married in 2007. And for 11 years, we struggled to have children. So you can imagine the load was very rough. And then 11 years after, God and after that, we had a girl. And in less than like 10 months, I got pregnant. And within the space of 20 months, I had another girl. So we have two toddler we have two beautiful girls. So, before the girls came, my salary was enough to do a lot of things I wanted to do. But by the time the children came, I discovered that my salary was not going to be enough to be the mom I wanted to be to them. Yes, yeah, my husband too. We both like had decent jobs. But then as a woman, it's not everything you like go and ask your partner for. It really got to me that at a point I was getting a bit distressed and depressed. And then I had to be telling myself that I was worth it. I was not a waste of space. I was a good mom, but I knew I had to do something to augment my income. So that was one. And then number two, because we didn't start childbearing on time, I knew that by the time the girls will have gotten to college, by that time we will have retired. So I started to get worried about how we'll be able to like put them through college. And so those were the two reasons why I decided to start looking for things to do, to earn extra income. And trust me, I tried a lot of things, and they were not giving me the kind of income we were looking for. And then the painful thing was that they were even now taking me away from my children. And then, having struggled for 11 years to have children, the last thing you want to do is not to be able to be there to raise them, to be there for them. And so when I saw this business, I haven't tried a lot of businesses that didn't work. I was a bit skeptical, but I said, okay, let me just look, do my research and look and see that after all, I've done a lot that had not worked. That worst case scenario, it will just be maybe one of another failed, business and all that. Okay, I was going to take that leap of faith. And then, I looked into the business, I did my research, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, this looks like the real deal. And I can tell you for free that this is a real deal. It is the real deal. Like now, my children goes to school and they come back, and then they meet me at home. I'm the first person they say. I'm like, oh, mommy, this, and then they start talking about how their day went, and then, I tuck them in to bed. Unlike before that, at times, by the time I come back from work, they had gone to sleep. And then in the morning, they were like, oh, mommy, where were you? What? Couldn't wait for you. Where were you when you wanted to sleep? And it broke my heart. These are the children that I struggled for 11 years to have, you know. And then, one of the days, after I had retired, anytime they are doing something in the school, sure, I have all the time on my hands. And then there was one day I think they had an open day or something, and then I went to the school, and my eldest daughter's teacher saw me and she started smiling. I was like, oh, why are you smiling? She said, that she knew that if no other parent came, that I was going to come. That joy, that, oh wow, that was my why, that, oh, I want to be there for these children. I want everything I could do, humanly possible, to be that mom that I'd always dreamt of. I cried for 11 years for these children. And so I just wanted to be that present mom. So I was just like, I was so happy. And then I remember when the girls came back, and my daughters were so excited. I was like, oh, mommy, you were in our school. They were like, oh, look at my mommy is here. And then, they were so happy to see me. I was like, oh, mommy, thank you for coming. I was so happy to see you, that joy. That joy. And also, because of this business, I've been able to help a lot of women like me too, mentoring them and all. So I can not be grateful enough for the opportunity I've seen as a result of this business. So now I don't have to worry about, oh, putting the children in college. I don't have to worry about, oh, I need to get this for my children, and then I don't have the funds. That's peace of mind. And then also I know that for every important moment they have, I will be there. So I'm really thankful for this business. And then how, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you're in Nigeria and you are doing this, and I'm like, this is a global business. And I know that if maybe for whatever reason I leave Nigeria today, I know I was telling somebody that if I say I leave Nigeria today, I'm not going to go to school, I'm not going to look for work. I already have a business that can take around anywhere in the world, everywhere I go. So I am indeed thankful that I got to know about this business, and I'm indeed running this business. So thank you.
Oh, wow.
So
Well,
sorry, I could go on and on.
And I just
I
um
just wanted to, I
this
wanted to just leave you to go on and on and on, and I was going to just take out the time on this session.
it's
Guys,
amazing.
I
Sis Vera, can I jump on something Sis Adeola
yeah,
said that I was going to bring up, where she said about
yeah,
global? I wanted to say, because we back home. So you ladies, Nigeria, Ghana, Africa, and what family, friends, people back home think that is when you come to Europe or the diaspora, it's going to be a better life, and they come and they realize that it's not, and they go through so many pains and struggles to actually come to experience that, and one of them is getting the finances together. Now, what sis Adeola said was something I was going to bring up about the fact that this business is global. You can actually, I would say to people, remain at home and build yourself there. Don't be disappointed by thinking that you're coming to greener pastures and you come and then you're tied down not to one, not to two, but to three jobs to make ends meet. And then you've got people back home depending on you. This
Mhm.
is the beauty of this business, where you can establish it anywhere because of the fact that it's global. Just recently, Africa is on the map because they opened one of the offices in Nigeria. But I
Yes.
wanted to say to people, because we have that mindset, and I think I would be guilty if I was back home thinking that here, those that are in the UK are living some fabulous, awesome life. and I would be working towards coming to the UK just to experience the reality that it's not like that. So I just
Mhm.
wanted to just jump on that and just
Mhm.
emphasize, to
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sister Ama. Before we go ahead, I'm going to quickly appreciate, and acknowledge all those who have been, watching us. And we have Shehun Adeogun. Shehun Adeogun, thank you so much. We appreciate your comments and your contribution, to this session. And then we have Nafisatu Din. Nafisatu Din, okay, thank you, my pleasure. Oh, she's just thanking us for, acknowledging her. It's our pleasure, actually. Thank you so much. And then we have Joe Siange. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name right, but I'm just going to pronounce it the African way. We pronounce every single letter of every word. So, Joe Siange, we appreciate you and thank you so much. Joe is watching from Papua New Guinea. And we have Limasad Ali. Limasad Ali is watching us from Italy. As you all can see, we are global. Then we have Deborah who did, comment about, I think, on Sister Adeola's, story that you said that, like you get more freedom, more time freedom, and that it is really important, to have. The truth is that if you do not have time freedom yet, you would not understand where we are coming from. But as soon as you
Absolutely.
taste it, trust me, you are never going to be content anywhere else until you have that time, for yourself. And we have Olarewaju Akinyoju. She's also watching from Italy. Thank you so much, for joining us, sis. We appreciate you. We have our boss de Pimo. Is it Pimo? Pimo? Oh, yeah. If it's Yoruba, it should be Pimo, right? So it is Pimo. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrongly. You're watching us from London, and thank you so much. And then Deborah King, she loved your story, Sister Amma. You remember when you were commenting that you don't know if you're taking the whole time. She commented there that she loved the story, so you should actually carry on. So we have Nafisa Tudin again, who said, it's very, okay, Sister Amma, yeah, your story was very, very inspirational and motivational, So thanks for that, Sister Nafisa too. Then we have Elisa Tyron. I'm going to be in trouble with this now. Sister, thank you so much. But like I said, I'm going to pronounce every single letter of your name. So we are pronouncing it the African way. Let's just say we are having the African session tonight. So it's maybe Lisa Tyrone, but we're going to pronounce it as Lisa Tyrone. Sorry for that, sister. So thank you so much, ladies. We appreciate you all. Oh God, these are lots of people supporting us tonight.
They're awesome.
It's this,
They're
Thank
awesome.
you.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We have yeah, Deborah King. Yeah. Yes, life is way too short, to be living an unfulfilled life. This is our reality, but unfortunately, I would say fortunately, because we are here to tell the story. There are so many, who were in the same position as us, but they're not here to tell the same story. So the
Mm.
fact that we are able to, be on this side and look back and say, okay, we know which part, is better. So it's the part of freedom of everything,
Mhm.
freedom of time, the financial freedom. We cannot, um, we cannot, we cannot oversay that, actually, to be honest, because we know that when you have time and financial freedom, you have everything in life,
Yeah.
to be honest. And then we have Lisada, yeah, sorry, Limasad, sorry, who said, okay, we've lost time and we can never recover. But you see, like sister we said, it is better to be late than never.
Yeah.
um yes, thank you for sharing that, testimony as well, for that feedback. Yeah, it's the best business ever. If you are a mom, a dad, anyone at all who is looking for, an opportunity to live a more fulfilled life, a life of, purpose, just give it a try, to try this business. You will see that you will be where we are today, and you also tell, the same story. Thank you so much, Deborah King. Sister Adeola, she did, she was amazed with your story. Um, Tina Willis, thank you so much. We appreciate you for your contribution as well. Much love. Thank you. Um, Oh God, the list is still on. Yeah, we have, yeah. A lot of people are enjoying, this
It's
session tonight. Thank you so
awesome.
much, ladies. Thank you. We
Awesome.
appreciate you.
Awesome.
Then we have, you wouldn't know how we appreciate this, your comments and, contribution. The truth is, it's different when we just sit down here and we just feel that we are talking into the screen and nobody's listening, nobody's watching. But your comment motivates us and it makes us, even do more of this, session. Yes. Yeah, you see, ladies, oh, great job, ladies. Eye opener. Thank you, Lisa. Once again, we appreciate you. God bless you. Then Deborah King, yeah, finally this business has changed my life. That's another life, changing testimony there. So yes, like we all know, we have actually told our stories, and we know that there are so many people who are watching us out there who may be, who may be stuck in, in a particular situation, especially your work situation. Most, from my experience, most people who work don't enjoy their jobs. The
Mm.
reason they are actually there is because they just want, because they don't know any other way out. It's like you are almost stuck in that situation, and that's not the best way to live. Like one of our commenters said, then life is too short, to to not enjoy the other parts of, of life. Like in my own case, I made a very, very, tough decision. Imagine having so many kids that would, need me, to provide for them financially. There is just no way my husband, can provide for the whole of us, because we are not one, two, three, or four, or five. We're a family of eight. And imagine having that large family, and we also have to also, look out for those who are still back home, who are still thinking that we are plucking money from here, from the trees. So of course, we being Africans, being especially Nigerians in particular, we believe in, supporting our community. We believe in supporting, people back home. So we know we are here. We're kind of changing our mindset to say we are not obliged to do it. But the truth is, if you are an African, you are somehow obliged to, because in one way or the other, you have someone who have actually helped you. Maybe somebody who have actually picked you along the way while you were trekking home from school. Somebody who have supported you when you were in college or when you were in university. You have one uncle who has given you, who supported you with Gary or anything, to, so you have to pay back, in some ways. So, or you have that uncle's child too, who will be, must have heard the story about, my cousin who is now, living in diaspora. So as soon as you leave your home and you are living in diaspora, just know that you have an automatic, responsibility to take care of those, you left back home financially. So that's one of the reasons that, we are actually driven to pick up more shifts, to pick up, more jobs, in order to be able to look after ourselves here and also those, back home. So if you are actually there and you're watching us and you do not know that there are ways that you can actually earn, legitimately, or there are ways that you can actually, support yourself and support those back home, this is an opportunity for you to, to engage with any one of us, here, Ama, Ama, Adeola and myself, we have, I'm actually looking for our information there.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
disappeared. But this will be streaming on our pages. So anyone
yeah,
who's watching from our pages can just go to the top and they will find our website and they
absolutely.
just
Yes.
register with their name and their email.
Address, and then we'll be able to, to put you through on how you too can begin, this journey, on, establishing or starting and establishing your own digital, business. Thank you so much, ladies. And for now, this is we're going to put, this session to an end, and we hope to see you with more interesting, topic. So keep an eye on these pages next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Remain blessed and God bless you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
thank
you.
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.